the EU has long fingerprinted all applicants for asylum and refugee status in the EU. That's been happening since the late 90s. And it's now decided that it needs to fingerprint all visa entrants and residence permit holders. And now this data is going to be stored for up to 10 years. That's the biometric data, the fingerprints themselves, plus a host of other personal information on a database called the Visa Information System. And this is going to be linked to another database called the Schengen Information System. More recently, the EU has also decided that the fingerprinting of all EU passport holders should also be mandatory, and it's also agreed common standards for biometric identity cards issued by the member states. Now, there was very little debate about the actual decision to introduce mandatory fingerprinting, certainly outside of the EU institutions. And the debate that is now taking place is whether mandatory fingerprinting should start at 12 years old, which the European Parliament would like to see, or 6 years old, which a majority of the member states in the Council of the European Union at present have expressed that they would like to see. So in order to implement the biometric passport, many member states are now constructing massive population databases that, again, these are going to house not just the fingerprint data, but all the personal data attached to the application, so in this case a passport application. Biometric passports, at least in the UK, will also mean mass enrolment and registration for the population. So the next time I renew my passport, I expect to go to, I think it's one of 56 enrolment centres to be fingerprinted, registered and profiled at a cost to me of about £100. And then in return I will get a passport with an RFID chip on which my data will be stored, which apparently screams, you know, hack me to anyone so inclined. And as far as I'm aware, people in the UK, Holland and Germany have already cracked these so-called, you know, unhackable RFID chips. Now, the EU has already proposed an EU-wide register of documents, which is effectively a euphemism for an EU population database. You can't take the data from all these documents, put it in a central database without creating what is effectively an EU population database. But what looks like it's going to happen instead is that under the so-called Prum Convention, which was agreed by the Schengen states, that's just 7 member states, in 2005, what's going to happen is that they're going to create a system whereby police in one member state will automatically be able to search in the fingerprint databases of all 26 other member states. So it's the same principle, but it's being achieved. It's being achieved by a different means.